Welcome to the new moon conjunct Uranus in April of 2018. So this is going to be very brief. There will be more specific information in a blog post coming later, so keep an eye out for the link to that. And what we have is the new moon in Aries at 26 degrees 2 minutes in the very last decade of Aries in the Aquarius Watt, further emphasizing the Uranus influence of this particular new moon. Now, Sagittarius. So with the Sagittarius decanate, one of the things that does is it gives us some more expansive or uplifting or optimistic sort of feel, in spite of the fact that it is in the last degrees of a sign. Now, it is still making a wide square to Pluto. So Uranus and Pluto together with this new moon indicates a couple of things. So the theme that best describes this particular lunation is planting a flag in the dying sun. So this time for many people is a culmination of a long journey or a long effort or a long process. So it's this feeling that you get is you have completed an arduous task or an arduous journey. And this follows or completes out the cycle from that full moon T-square that we just dealt with. So many tough decisions may have been made, very important decisions may have been made under that T-square with a full moon. And now with the new moon conjunct Uranus, we are those very same people who are involved in those situations are planting their flags to establish that they have completed that journey and they're now starting a new beginning in brand new territory with the great unknown before them. Now, the other thing with this, because this is the 27th degree and there's a lot of Uranus energy, expect things to hit critical mass right now. But mostly, mostly where data and information and patience goes. This is a different kind of critical mass. So typically when we talk about critical mass, we're usually talking about people being at the end of the rope or being on their last nerve. And Uranus does rule the nerves. But in this particular case, the critical mass we're talking about also has a lot to do with machinery and equipment and technology. Myself, this is literally going to be very quick because my computer has hit critical mass in terms of storage. So I've literally got to go find a hard drive to push everything into or my computer is going to explode, which is why I'm not doing it there. My phone also is the same thing. The storage is completely eaten up. Had to delete a bunch of things. I'm going to have to go delete a bunch more before the phone explodes, proverbially speaking. Now, while this is going on, Mercury is making its exact station. And Mercury making its exact station means that Mercury is motionless. It's just kind of hanging in the sky, not doing anything. So what this is doing is concentrating a tremendous amount of energy to literally the head of a pin. So there's a very, very specific focal point or like a little mouse hole that we all have to kind of get through if we're going to get through this. If we're going to get through this at all and not be stuck. So for the people who are most impacted by this particular new moon, and you're going to know because this has been an ongoing process, this is not something new. So you've already been making these decisions. You've already feel like you've come to the completion of something and you're now planting your flag and establishing that this is the end of that and the beginning of this. So this is not new. This new moon is just illuminating or bringing it to light. And also, whether you realize or not, making this a lot more significant than it would otherwise appear. But you know this is going on. So for those of you who are affected, you know who you are because it's not necessarily things coming out of the blue. For the people around you, however, this may be something coming out of the blue as you get ready to turn your corners into a new life. So there's a lot of significance and there's a lot of long-term major impact from these decisions and stands that we take. For those of you who are dealing with, because there's a lot of Saturn, Mercury is squaring Saturn as it's making its station. For those of you who are in a position to deal with authority, whether it's legal authorities or employers or the powers that be, this is an extremely pivotal time. So we'll see it a lot in governments because there's been a lot of at least in the U.S., there's been a lot of nonsense going on. Just a lot of nonsense and a lot of bad policy that's been passed because, we have who we have in Congress. Anyway, Mercury is making a station. It's getting ready to go direct. So there's a lot of course correction that's going to be happening and a lot of revision of previously agreed to or standing decisions or agreements. And these things all have very serious significance and very long-term impact for for large groups of people because Pluto is involved and because Saturn is involved. So we've got and Uranus, we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. For those of you who want to make the most out of this particular new moon conjunct Uranus, what I would say is this is an optimal time to clear the decks. So get in and clean out all of the stuff that's hanging around that you've been pretty much ignoring, that's causing critical mass, like files, files and storage in your computers and your phones. Also, this is a really good time for other people to consider completely brand new ways of doing things. So if you've really been thinking about picking up a new hobby or a sport or activity, like, I don't know, like ice curling or sheep herding, I don't know. This is the time to really examine that and get in there and do the research, because Mercury and Saturn is also research, and so is Pluto. For those of you who have a more psychological bent, this is a great time to examine what erupts into consciousness, because there's a lot of deep stuff that's coming up to the surface. So this is really powerful, fertile time to dig in and get the muck out, so we can get out of our own way, but more importantly, so we can stop hurting ourselves. So self-sabotage is a big thing also with this particular lunation, and this is a great time to unhook those cars on the train, so they're not following us around anymore. There is more. We're going to get into this again in a blog post. I don't have a lot of time because Uranus, Aries, the final degrees of a sign, all three of those things are very much about being in a hurry and getting to the future as quickly as possible. So this is it. I'm sorry it's so brief, or maybe not sorry. Maybe this is best this way. So hang in there. And for those of you who are planting your flag, you know, rock on. Rock on. This is a monumental turning point in your life, and everything is turning on the head of a pin. So it's very, very huge. It's very huge. It's very big. And for those of you who may unfortunately be on the fallout side of this, well, you know, you just got to get through it. You just got to get through it the best you can and understand all of these things are designed to liberate us from our attachments to the things that hold us back spiritually. Not that that's much consolation when the rug's being pulled out from underneath you, but you got to put these things in perspective, because we can't undo it. Like, we can't stop the train from going, so we just have to figure out how to make it work for us. Okay? All right, so blog post coming with the horoscopes for each of the signs and a little bit more about the new moon. In the meantime, I got to go finish up some business, and I have to go plant my flag. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.